And the subject of Mossad behind attacks from our correspondent, Stern Intel, Canada. A U.S. military intelligence source revealed details of an internal intelligence memo that points to the Israeli Mossad intelligence service having links to the World Trade Center and Pentagon attacks. The intelligence source, who requested his name be withheld, confirmed the internal U.S. intelligence memo circulated 4 weeks ago described information that pointed to the threat of a covert Israeli operation on U.S. soil to turn mass public opinion against Palestinian Arabs via an apparent terrorist attack on U.S. interests that would give Israel the green light to implement a large-scale military onslaught against the Palestinian Arab population. The 11 September attack has been described by experts as being too sophisticated for a lone terrorist group to execute. This attack required a high level of military precision and resources of an advanced intelligence agency. In addition, the attackers would have needed to be extremely familiar with both Air Force One flight operations, civil airline flight paths, and aerial assault tactics on sensitive U.S. cities like Washington, stated David Stern, an expert on Israeli intelligence operations. The attacks targeted the Pentagon, World Trade Center towers, with the White House and Air Force One also being targets according to the FBI. The attacks have certainly turned U.S. public policy firmly back in Israel's favor after 11 months of Palestinian uprising, heavy criticism of Israel over war crimes allegations, and racism by a UN conference in Durban. The attacks serve no Arab group or nation's interest, but their timing came in the midst of international condemnation of Israel for its policy of death squad assassination of Palestinian political and police figures, added Stern. If verified, the news of Israelis' involvement in the U.S. attack will come as no surprise to intelligence experts. The State of Israel has a long history of covert operations against Western targets with attacks on the King David Hotel, USS Liberty, murder of a Scandinavian UN envoy, as well as espionage against the U.S. during the Jonathan Pollard case. On Wednesday, the U.S. Defense Department issued a warning to its officials to hold the leak of information on the investigation, which it says is happening on a daily basis since the attacks occurred. See website www.pk/daily/main/top15.htm. U.S. aid to Israel. Benefits to Israel of U.S. aid since 1949 as of November 1, 1997. Foreign aid grants and loans, more than $74 billion to Israel. Other U.S. aid, 12.2% of foreign aid, more than $9 billion. Interest to Israel from advance payment, close to $2 billion. Grand total, close to $85 billion. Total benefit per Israeli, close to $15,000. Cost to U.S. taxpayers of U.S. aid to Israel, a grand total from above, more than, or it's about $85 billion. Interest cost borne by U.S., about $50 billion. Total cost to U.S. taxpayers, about $135 billion. Total cost per Israeli, $23,240. The Strategic Function of U.S. Aid to Israel by Stephen Zuntz foreign aid bill passes overwhelmingly. The U.S. Senate overwhelmingly passed the fiscal year 2002 Foreign Operation Appropriation Bill by a vote of 96 to 2. The Senate version of the Foreign Aid Bill is similar to the version passed earlier this year in the House. It contains $2.04 billion in military aid and $720 million in economic aid for Israel, as well as important provisions which enable Israel to maximize the benefits of the aid, such as payment of the money in a lump sum at the beginning of the fiscal year. Dr. Zuns is an assistant professor in the Department of Politics at the University of San Francisco. Since 1992, the U.S. had offered Israel an additional $2 billion annually in loan guarantees. Congressional researchers have disclosed that between 1974 and 1989, $16.4 billion in U.S. military loans were converted to grants, and that this was the understanding from the beginning. Indeed, all past U.S. loans to Israel have eventually been forgiven by Congress, which has undoubtedly helped Israelis often touted the claim that they have never defaulted on a U.S. government loan. U.S. policy since 1984 has been that economic assistance to Israel must equal or exceed Israel's annual debt repayment to the United States. Unlike other countries which receive aid in quarterly installments, aid to Israel since 1982 has been given in a lump sum at the beginning of the fiscal year, leaving the U.S. government to borrow from future revenues. Israel even lends some of this money back through U.S. Treasury bill and collect the additional interest. Oh my God. In addition, there is the more than $1.5 billion in private U.S. funds that go to Israel annually in the form of $1 billion in private tax-deductible donations and $500 million in Israeli bonds. The ability of the Americans to make what amounts to tax-deductible contribution to foreign governments, made possible through a number of Jewish charities, does not exist with any other country. Nor do these figures include short and long-term commercial loans from U.S. banks, which have been as high as $1 billion annually in recent years. Total U.S. aid to Israel is approximately one-third of the American foreign aid budget, even though Israel comprises just 0.001%, that's 1 per thousand, of the world's population, and already has one of the world's higher per capita income. Indeed, Israeli GNP is higher than the combined GNP of Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, the West Bank, and Gaza. With a per capita income of about $14,000, Israel ranks as the 16th wealthiest country in the world. Israelis enjoy a higher per capita income than oil-rich Saudi Arabia. Aid does not term economic aid to Israel as development assistance, but instead uses the term economic support funding. Given Israel's relative prosperity, U.S. aid to Israel is becoming increasingly controversial.